Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jackie Buntan. Very good to see you up against Smilla Sundell for the ONE Women's Muay Thai Strawweight World Title. Finally, they got a world title on the line. How exciting is this? Did you expect this to come about now? And how massive is this for you in the sport as well?
Oh man, it's like super exciting. I really can't put it into words how it feels to be able to compete for it. But I definitely knew it was in the works. Um, Given, the successes I've had all of last year in 2021, I knew I would definitely be a number one contender for it. So we knew it would be happening. But yeah, just being able to be one of the first to have the chance to be the first strawweight world champion in ONE is amazing in itself. So it's a really big deal.
How awesome was 2021 for you? Is that one of the best years of your life? Like you really smashed it and it feels like you've put some momentum behind you going into this year.
Yeah, I definitely think, I'm only 24, but I definitely think so far it's one of the best years of my life for sure. Just being able to fight 3 times in itself is always great. The more fights is always better, but having gone 3-0 all 1 year is just kind of like a cherry on top for me.
How do you feel about the sport at the moment? Because, you go to gyms all around the world, people love doing Muay Thai, but at the elite level, I feel like ONE is doing something that maybe has been needed for a while. Do you feel like that?
Yeah, I definitely do. Like growing up, I had dreams to be a world champion, but I never really had, a set goal of which promotion I wanted to be on. And really wasn't until like 2018, 2019, I figured out about ONE and realized like how they're taking care of their athletes, and especially the super series bouts, like with Muay Thai and kickboxing. It's the level they put the pedestal they put the athletes on is amazing, and I think it's even better for the sport.
How focused are you on strawweight? Are you here to stay, and are you open-minded to attack two belts at some stage?
As of right now, I'm comfortable and here to stay at strawweight for as long as I can. Once I get that belt next week, the goal is to have that belt as for as long as I can.
And what do you think of Smilla? Do you think she's a worthy challenger for the title? She's been given a shot very quickly. She's very new to ONE.
Yeah, I do think it was a quick shot, but I mean, she's definitely worthy of it. I think it's tricky just because the strawweight division is so new, and there's still some women who haven't really fought yet or only fought once, like back in 2020. So I feel like it's kind of all over the place. But no, she's definitely a worthy contender for the belt.
What do you think of the Fairtex style? I feel like they've had a lot of success. We all know about Stamp, and they've had many good fighters come through there. How do you interpret their style, and what do you respect about what they've kind of achieved as a gym?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think everyone knows about Fairtex Gym, and my coach Brian even had his ties with Fairtex back in the day, and they really hone in on tradition and their style, which is the Thai style, Fairtex style. So I think that's what, that it's a noticeable style, a noticeable thing coming out of that gym.
How does it feel to be fighting somebody so young? Like, is experience going to be a factor for you? Do you think it's going to be going your way in that sense?
I think it's gonna go in my way in terms of I'm confident in my skill set, but talking about the age difference, I don't think that's an issue really, because I've been on the opposite end where I've fought women way older than me. So I really don't think age is an issue.
And what about in terms of style? Where do you see yourself as stronger?
My brain power. I think I'm a smarter fighter.
And how do you think that kind of manifests itself in the fight? I mean, do you think that you're going to be leading the dance, or do you think it's more a case of
I'm
knowing what to do?
I think with Smilla, I don't know if given off her debut fight and what we're assuming, she's gonna come in aggressively just like she did with her first fight in ONE. So she'll essentially be kind of taking charge, but I'm there. I'm smarter. I'm there to see the mistakes and have her make mistakes and find the holes.
And Do you see yourself finishing her? Do you think, because she does get hit, and that's something that you've kind of noted down, that she is susceptible.
I mean, I don't like giving predictions, and even especially like KO predictions, but I just do see myself exposing her, that aggressive style where there's a lot of holes with that type of style. So I do see myself exposing that and making her make the mistakes.
And how intrigued are you? I know you've fully got to focus on your own fight, but how intrigued are you by the Anissa Meksen fight?
I'm just focused on my fight.
What would it mean to you to get your first finish in one? Like, I know you said you don't want to talk too much about the KO against somebody, but what would that mean to you?
I mean, I'll reword it. I mean, being able to get my first world title in one would mean everything to me. It's not just a 2-month camp in the making. This is ever since I started at 11 years old. It's 13 years in the making. It's my whole journey, and it's just the start of a journey. So it's a big moment for me.
So I think you hinted at it earlier, but if you win the belt, is your goal to kind of build a legacy and build defenses and kind of solidify this division?
Oh, 100%. I mean, like when I get the belt, my goal is to be on top, the number one contender, the woman to beat, really.
Do you feel quite settled in one now after a few fights? And when you speak to other women and other elite fighters, are you kind of like do you ever play that ambassadorial role if you guys need to come over here because what we got going on is something special? And I think the division does need building, right? Do you agree?
I would say maybe the beginning of last year, yeah, the division would need building, but I feel like they signed a good amount of women in the division now. The strawweight division is just a matter of the matchmaking and when these fights will happen, so we can kind of get a clear idea, at least with the ranking system. That just kind of goes in play with Smilla getting a title shot after her first fight. It's like, she's definitely worthy, but there's no ranking system in our division, so it's kind of it's kind of all over the place in a way.
Is that something that you might be keen to mention? Because I think journalists, fans, it's something that they'd love to see. It's such a nice barometer when we look ahead to fights, right? And also in that line, where would you rank yourself and where would you rank Smilla right now in the top 5?
I think I would I would probably put myself at the top, really, because I've gone 3 fights, 3 wins, where there hasn't been any other woman in the division who's gone 3-0.
And then where would she be?
I don't even know. It's hard. It's like not to talk negatively about it. It's just a matter of, you're just going to get more fights. Simple as that. Same thing goes with the other women in the division. They just need to get more fights. And that's the reason why there is no ranking system, because they got to fight.
One thing that's been really cool about ONE, I feel like, is the Grand Prix. So if you win the belt, would you be an advocate for the other women to kind of have a Grand Prix for the right to fight you?
Oh, 100%. I think that would be awesome. Every fighter loves competition, and being in a Grand Prix type of setting is like, elite type of competition. So I think that'd be really fun.
Sometimes they do it right, where you have a Grand Prix and then the winner fights the champion, but sometimes the champion is also in the Grand Prix. So which way would you have it? Would you be like, okay, I'm going to go celebrate my title and you guys can fight it out, or would you want to be involved as well?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like it'd be great to be involved with it, but I just feel like I've had the most success in fights so far in my division. So it would make sense to kind of have the other women settle it out in terms of rankings and see where they are and go from there. It seems like it makes some sense.
I bet you've been asked about this a bunch because I feel like it's the topic at the moment in ONE, but what do you think about the mixed rules? Because it's here to stay, it seems like, with Buntan and DJ, and it seems like they're going to do more of them. Is that something that you're open to, and how do you feel about it just generally as a concept?
I think it's actually really cool because, like you said, no one's doing it. No other organization's doing it, and it's completely new, and it's already with 2 sports people are familiar with, Muay Thai and MMA. So I'm a fan for it. I find it entertaining, but for me, I like striking. I like Muay Thai, so I will not be dabbling in a mixed rules fight.
As a student of martial arts, which would be the coolest mixed rules fight if you were to play Chatri in either women or men? What do you think would be the coolest spectacle?
Like which martial arts you said?
Like if you could make a match between two martial artists in mixed rules, what do you think would be the most interesting?
Oh man, I don't even know. There's just such a stacked roster. Like I saw I see it on Instagram, the Haggerty versus Mighty Mouse. I feel like that'd be really interesting. Another MMA and Muay Thai rules fight. And they're both beasts of fighters. So I feel like that'd be really entertaining.
That'd be very cool. And yeah, it's yeah, so I basically I already asked you about the atom weight division, but I think is that something just because of Jackie that I'm sorry, just because of Janet that you keep an eye on it all, or are you just really like you focus only on strawweight?
Yeah, I'm just focused on strawweight. I'm comfortable at 125. I feel healthy and strong at 125.
Well, it's always a pleasure to see you compete, Jackie, and great to interview you. I appreciate it. Nice one.
Of course.
Good
Thank you
luck.
for having me. Thank you.